Well, hello, my good friends. It is so nice to see you. Today, we are going to be talking about something near and dear to my heart, writing while disabled. I haven't gotten to this part yet of my whole journey, but we're going to talk today about my disabilities, my health conditions, and how they kind of affect my writing. And I'm doing this because, one, I want to, right? And two, because I hope that it will help someone else who does have a health condition to know that if they want to become a writer, then do it. So the obvious elephant in the room is, what is wrong with this lady? Well, if I told you the list of things that's wrong with me, you might cry. So we're going to keep this real brief. And I'm going to talk about the two major things on the agenda. So the first one is my long partner in crime called MS. So before I mess up something, I'm going to give y'all the medical definition and then I'll give you my definition. MS, multiple sclerosis, is an unpredictable, often disabling disease of the central nervous system that disrupts the flow of information within the brain and between the brain and the body. That's putting it nicely. To me, it is something that wants to act a fool. It wants to try to control me, but I am not one to be controlled. No, ma'am. Anywho, I was diagnosed with this in 2005, and at one point I was paralyzed for 3 years in a wheelchair. I was working, and then I stopped working, then I went back to work, and now I'm not back to regular work. I am what they call disabled retired. It is fine. It's fine. Anywho, I have different symptoms. My first symptom affected my legs, so the paralysis, right? And then intermittently, I have problems with leg pains and stuff like that. Sometimes some problems with vision. My vision changes constantly. You know, one time, my vision changed so much in 1 year, I had four sets of glasses. It was crazy. Anywho, MS and I are, again, partners in crime, and we have an understanding at this point, okay? She understands me, I understand her. Sometimes we do a tug of war, a little battle, but all in all, we get along. So, that is MS. My bugging son wants to say hello, because he is, thank you, bad as LaRue. Now, the second one is new. We are feeling our way together. We will come to an understanding as well. This is the one you haven't seen yet. In my weekly vlog, I was going to get tested. This is the one that has not been cooperative, but he will get cooperative because that is how we roll. What I'm talking about is something called essential thrombocythemia. Yeah, stick that in your hat. It is, let me get the medical definition, wait a minute, a rare chronic blood cancer that causes the bone marrow to produce too many platelets. The blood cells help your blood clot, right? So I have too many. Yes. Not only that, I have a rare form of this rare form. That's another whole story. Anywho, when the doctor told me that I had a rare thing, I laughed in her face. I kid you not. Because since the age of 3, I have always heard, you have something rare. So rare is not rare to me. Not anymore. But anywho, being introduced to the newest partner in crime, he was a little out of control. But he is getting in control. And he will stay in control. Because again, that is what I do. I do not allow them to rule me. I do not rule them. We work in conjunction with each other. And that's basically what happens when you have a disability and you're a writer. So when I think about disabilities and health conditions, chronic health conditions, and how it affects writing, because people always ask me this. They say, oh my gosh, you got all this going on. How is that going to affect your writing? Let me tell you. I'm going to talk about 3 things. 1 are time restrictions or limitations. 2, persistence. And 3, material. So going back to number 1. As far as my health conditions, and everybody is different, please understand that. Some days, even it's different for me. Okay, I have good and bad days. I am pretty much able to work with my conditions. I never know when I'm going to have a bad day, but what I do know is that it will not last for forever. I'll try to do as much writing as I can, which is why I'm not one of those people that can say, oh, I'm going to write for so many hours, or I'm going to write so many words in a day or whatever. That does not work for me. Partly because of the way I am. And secondly, because of the health conditions I have. I do give them the time and attention they need, and sometimes they need a little bit more. It is like a spoiled child. Yes, it is. If you see LaRue jumping around, just don't pay attention to him. Y'all know how he is. Anywho, I will try to get as much editing in as possible. I will try to schedule filming and things like that, get in as much as I can. And so that has kind of worked out. This past couple of weeks, this is a new illness that I'm dealing with. We are learning each other. I actually went through a whole round of chemotherapy, and honey, let me tell you, that didn't work out for me. No. So as we go through this journey of that, I will be keeping y'all posted. But yeah, the first go round didn't work on my body at all. But that's neither here nor there. 2, persistent. As a person who has a disability, and again, I've gone from being in a wheelchair to being out of a wheelchair to using it every now and then. Listen, use your tools when you need to. Don't be acting all crazy and prideful. Use your crap when you need to, okay? It makes things better and keeps you from being down too much, okay? This cat is really trying to open up the dang on closet. Whatever. Anywho, having a disability, I'm not one of those people who will get down for too long. I have my moments. I may cry for 5 minutes or something, and then I, get it back together. That's just me. If you want to cry for months, do that. If you never cry, that's you, do that. Whatever it is that you need to do to get through, just remember that you're a writer. Take what you're feeling and put it into your work. Persistence is key, because nobody is going to do this work but you. Nobody can do that work from your perspective. So be persistent, have your moment, get back to it. Also, Lord, when I tell you, having a disability, it can really give you some great material to work with, because you see things in a different way now. Like When I first got diagnosed with MS, I was a young woman. I was in my 30s, right? And I would just go, just go, right? Had multiple jobs, going to school, raising kids, doing everything, right? What did it cost me to do? It cost me to sit down for a minute. It caused me to have a couple of moments of silence. When I first got diagnosed, I was in the hospital for a month. A month. Couldn't move my legs, didn't know what was going on. A month. Can you imagine somebody who got 2 and 3 jobs and going to school and raising a family all of a sudden stops? And that's what happened. But in stopping, I got to really learn a lot of things about myself. And what I learned was that I am a persistent, resilient woman. That's a good thing. Because with these illnesses, even this new fella, I ain't named him yet, but even this little new thing going on, I'm going to be persistent. And I am not one of those people who sits back and lets a doctor, tell me something and I'm not engaged, right? I am always engaged. Be engaged with your medical care, because if something is not working for you, hell, it ain't working. It's too many other things out here to try. Don't just go and wither away somewhere like some people want us to do. Don't do that. That's not you. If it was you, you wouldn't be a writer. So do what you need to do. Make a plan for yourself. If it ain't working, regroup, redo, revise. That's what writers do. And that's what you should do with your health condition as well. Lord, LaRue done picked the time to just climb up on my lap. Y'all know he jealous. Oh, my Lord. Say hello, LaRue. Hi. All right, back to it. Anywho, statistics. Okay. I'm going to read some of this stuff off because it was very hard for me to find stuff. Y'all know I want to be a traditionally published author. So that's kind of what I was looking for. I didn't really do too much research on independent disabled writers, but I am assuming that we probably have more of those. Hold on, I got to move this cat. I'm sorry. Go over there, LaRue. Oh my Lord. Okay, back. Whew. Anywho, statistics. I'm going to read this off. In the United States, 26% of people are disabled. Of those 26% of people, 6.6% are actually, working. I guess that's any kind of work. In 2019, there was a study done by the Cooperative Children's Book Center, and they found only 3.4% of children's books have a disabled main character. But 1 in 6 children have a learning disability between the ages of 3 and 17. Crazy. No representation anyway. Only 5% of disabled characters that you see in films, movies, television are actually played by disabled actors. 95% are played by non-disabled actors. I'm not saying nothing about people. Some people can act really good, okay? I hope that these people in film and television and stuff, at least consulting with disabled people. I read somewhere that out of all the disabled consultants, there may only be 5%, and there may only be 1% that are actually within the film and television industry as writers. Crazy. Anywho, and the number of disabled authors in the United States is so low. Out of that 6.6% that are working, the number is so low of disabled writers and authors, they couldn't even quantify it. So I'm sorry, y'all, I don't got that, but guess what? That means that the market is wide open for us. Moving on. Although I want to go over a few organizations in depth in a later video, I want to talk about two that are specific for people who have disabilities that are writers. The first is called the Inevitable Foundation, and I'll just read their mission. Their mission is to invest in disabled writers and filmmakers so they can achieve artistic and financial freedom and use film and television to destigmatize disability and mental health globally. They actually have a couple of grants and things, and I think one of the they have going on right now for 2025 is for disabled screenwriters who live in the area Los Angeles, California. They are helping those who were affected by the wildfires. So if that is you, hop on over there. The second one is called Disability in Publishing, and I'll just read their mission statement. Our mission is to create community, provide resources, and increase accessibility across the industry in order to increase disability visibility and retain the talent of disabled publishing professionals. They will support each other through advocacy, education, networking, and community. They are committed to working from an intersectional perspective. So kind of like me, you disabled, but you also have ethnicity or racial things going on. So intersectional. One of the opinions I have for people who are not disabled who would like to be supportive of disabled writers is to treat them as you would any other writer, author, publishing professional. Yes, they have a health condition, but that does not define who they are or the work that they do. They're just writers who have a health condition. Simple. That's it. Number 2, try not to treat disabled writers as if they are helpless. Trust me. If they need something, they will probably ask you, okay? If you have a resource that you feel will be, perfect for that person or good for that person, it is okay to say, hey, I got this resource or this grant or, whatever, and, just want to let you know about it. If you're interested, you're interested. If they want to look into it, they will gladly get the information. Don't be pushy about it, but they'll let you know, yeah, I'm interested in that, or no, that's not for me. At that point, don't push. Just let them do them. And my last tip is something that I actually had to talk about when I was on a diversity scholarship panel. Yes, I am a member of the Historical Novel Society, and this year I was privileged to be one of the committee members to pick winning scholarship recipient. That was a great thing. During the process, there was one moment where one of the other committee members kind of stated they didn't feel like this person should be a number 2, 3, 4, whatever, because what they had written was not about their particular diverse thing. They didn't have a character in their book that was had that particular diversity. I had a problem with that, and I'll tell you why. This scholarship is a diversity scholarship. It doesn't matter to me what the author writes about. If they happen to write about a character that is whatever they present as diversity, fine. If not, fine. We have to stop putting diverse authors in a box. And what I mean by that is just because somebody has a disability or they're of a certain race, ethnicity, gender, whatever the case may be, that is their diversity. That does not mean that they have to write about that. That would be saying to them, hey, you can only write about this, and this because you're black, or because you're disabled, or because you're LGBTQ IA plus. No. Let their diversity come through because of their lived experience. Whatever they may choose to say, the diversity is them. It's them. It's not what they write. It's not who they write about. It's not, that would be like saying, a disabled person can only write about disabled people, have disabled characters, have a story about disability. No, do not put people in a box. And so that's probably my biggest thing. Don't put writers in a box just because they are diverse. You will go so much farther if you let them be who they are. Great writers. Period. Here is your newest channel shout out. Please support. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. If you have any questions, any comments, any, whatever, you can put them down in the comments. I am very much open to answering anything regarding multiple sclerosis, regarding anything as far as I know right now. Okay, we still learning this one as far as what we call ET, or essential thrombocythemia. Thankfully, I have been blessed that it is not something that will shorten my life. And so, that's nothing but God's grace, nothing but God's grace. And so we will continue to deal with this, but we will not allow it to impede our writing. We will not, we can't, because there are too many people out there waiting for our work. There are too many people out there who are diverse, are dealing with different issues. What do writers do? We write about the facts of life. So, thank you again for joining me. Please come back soon. And questions, ask them in the comments. Put them in the comments. And please do more. Happy reading, happy writing. Bye.